Failed to post to Facebook. Here's what Facebook said. I don't know why. I mean, we were able to go live earlier. I'm not sure what's going on for some odd reason. But c'est la vie. We are here. Um, yeah, and he's doing what he's doing.
Sorry, camera lens is just too wide. I couldn't get away from that visual.
Right.
But
Well, welcome back.
this, folks, is what it looks like when a boomer is controlled by Facebook.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I gotta get on live on Facebook. But still up until now, I mean, kidding aside, I'm not making fun of you. I am not. I still haven't told any of my friends, maybe one, but I haven't really told any of my friends and family, and posted like, "Hey, listen to our podcast" on my like personal profile.
No, I haven't either. I haven't either.
So this is my little private, because it's like I don't want anybody to contaminate my little piece that I have here.
How?
It's like, oh, then maybe you shouldn't talk about this, and you should talk about that, and oh, you should talk about, it's like,
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand. But I don't understand. What I don't
like,
understand is how you
thank you,
think it's
Auntie.
going to make such a big difference in
Which
your
one?
personal page.
What do you mean?
Don't you think? Do you have mutual people or known friends from everybody else in your family, or no?
Sorry, I'm not sure I understand the question.
Okay, so in my, I don't have this posted on my personal Facebook page, but I do have some selected few that do support our show, that they do listen here and there, you know?
But did they stumble upon it, or did you actually like share it with them? Like,
I
"Psst,
shared it with a number of people. It's selected
hey,
people.
you know what? Yeah,
What?
right. Oh, yeah, yun nga. Like, "Psst, hey, pakinggan mo naman to. Listen to this
Yeah,
podcast. Tell me what you think."
I definitely did that. Yeah.
Oh, I might have. I might have done that. I don't really remember, but I haven't heard from them, so that's a good thing. That's actually a good thing.
Hold on one
It's the
second.
people.
My
It's the
daughter's like
people.
yelling live in the air, I need to pee.
It's the people that can't help themselves and give me unsolicited advice that I don't actually need.
Right.
Those are the ones that I'm trying to avoid. But the ones that know how to just keep their cool, back off, and not say anything unless, like, "Hey, Noel, your zipper's open," they'll
Oh,
actually say something.
right.
But some people, they're like, "Oh, I have an idea. Oh, maybe you should get this guy on your show. You should email this guy to get on their show."
Is that what you're trying to avoid?
I've had that.
I mean, I
I've
honestly
had
think
that.
that we're not going to have that kind of problem there. I
Like,
mean,
with
we're a bunch of nobodies.
no, with my circle of friends. No, it's not because we are nobodies. That's not my point. It's not that people know us. It's that my some of my close family and friends uh, are more than eager to give us unsolicited advice that, oh, you should call this people. You should
But
talk
you
about
don't
this
need to
topic.
be sharing that though. That's what I'm saying. You can selectively share it to random random people, not necessarily family.
Right, which is why I don't share it to family.
Ah,
Not that I don't want them to see it. That's not the point. The point is I don't
okay.
want to actively share it with them and say, "Hey, watch
Right.
my podcast." There's something different about just discovering it for yourself and
Mhm.
hunting me down and figuring it out versus me like, "Uy, pasok kayo dito kayo sa ano." You know what I mean? There's some kind of a different dynamic. I open like a can of worms once I invite them. But if they discover me and they kind of walk in and knock,
Right.
there's a little bit more hesitation for them maybe to give us advice. Maybe that's just screwed up in my head, but that's kind of how I see it. You
Right.
understand what I mean? Versus,
Right. Right.
you know what
Right.
I mean? When you invite any Tom, Dick, and Harry off the street to your party versus all the gates are closed and then they can just hear the party and then they could just hang out and try to figure out how to get in,
Right.
feeling exclusive. There's a different dynamic versus, oh, halika kayo, come here, join us.
Right.
Eh,
Well, Screeching declaration, by the way. I've just discovered why we can't broadcast on to Facebook as of right now.
I was having a moment there,
I want
an intellectual moment.
hold on. This is quite important. We haven't been live on Facebook on this new studio for more than 30 minutes.
Mm.
We've already been kicked out of Facebook Live.
For what?
I don't know. It says that
Oh.
we are suspended from Facebook Live for 6 days. 6 days.
Suspended.
Yeah.
For what?
I that's what I would like to know. It says
First we couldn't get on, and then when we finally figured out how to get on, we're on there for what, 6 minutes, and we're suspended for 6 days.
Did we say something? Did I curse? Did you curse? Did say anything? I don't know.
I think I said something like, I think I said damn or something.
I don't
some
think that's
mild curse word.
Now we're
I think.
stuck for 6 days, and we have literally, I don't know. We're stuck.
Great. So now we don't have any Facebook problems.
Yeah,
You could
there
just
you
cut
go.
it up into like little bits and pieces on Facebook. It doesn't have to be like live.
Yeah, no. Once we put this, get this up and going, and then we'll record everything there.
Look, YouTube has been most friendly to us.
Right.
Let's just stick with them and then like give everybody else breadcrumbs. Give
That's
the whole sandwich to YouTube and everybody else just gets leftovers, breadcrumbs.
No, I want to give some to Facebook as well. But if we can get, well, TikTok does not do live yet, right? Or did we just completely S the bet on that one?
I can't figure it out. Some tutorials would give me, again, my only block yesterday was I couldn't log into Facebook. So I can't say for sure if TikTok doesn't allow us to go live there, because there seem to be some instructional videos saying this is how you go live on TikTok through StreamYard.
Right. Well, that's
So
that.
the mystery is not yet solved.
Yeah.
It's an
So-
unsolved mystery.
I got a couple of gripe of what's going on in my household.
Oh, please go ahead while I have
All
my
year
breakfast.
round, it's freaking cold in my house all year round. There's such a weird setup on how the AC unit is, or the heater unit goes on in this house. It's an older house. You know, it's not like well, it's an older house, right?
Mm.
I just took a quick glance at myself,
Mm.
and it's never been this clear, and I could see the freaking prickles underneath my you know.
Okay.
Anyway, I got distracted. So, on the summertime, we all know heat rises, right? It rises from the bottom up. Heat rises.
Does
So-
it really?
Yes, it does. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me why. But as far as I know, heat rises. Okay. When the heater is on in the house during the winter time, it all
Because-
goes up to the highest level of the house.
Because colder air is more dense. Hot air is lighter, less dense.
Then don't ask me. I don't.
I am
can't-
telling you.
Okay. Well, great. Good to know.
Not-
Yay.
It's not a question. It's a nerdy thing to say.
So in the entire house, it's freezing right now. It's so cold. We're always walking around in socks, pants, and a fucking sweater.
Even on
Yeah.
the roof. Go up at the roof. That's where it's a little hotter.
It's
Cold
30
air goes
degrees
down.
outside, you idiot. It's 30 degrees outside.
Uh,
But if you go upstairs to the main bedroom and the higher floor, it's hot. It's like 75 degrees over there.
Exactly. Quick pause. When you get out of cinemas here, sometimes, usually on the last full show, they turn off the AC. When you get out of the cinemas at the top which are usually located at the top of the mall, You
Right.
get out, it feels a little warm, not hot, but warm. And then you
Right.
start walking down towards the car park, which is all the way at the basement, is cold.
Ah, I see what you're saying.
So what's up with your house?
I don't know what it is. It's always just so freaking cold in here. Even in the summertime, even in the summertime when we turn the heater on, I mean the AC on and set it up to like, I don't know, 69 degrees or 70 degrees, for some reason it's just always freezing in this house. Always. I don't know what it is. The heater is working. All the hot air is trapped upstairs for some reason.
Are your windows open?
No, none of the windows open. Even I tried to like divert and close some vents upstairs to force the air down.
When you look at the heater and it says, let's say, I don't know, what does it say on your heater? Like
Right
75
now it says
degrees?
71.
Okay, so 71. That's what's your thermostat says, but the actual thermometer, what does it say? Is it 71?
No, it's like 52 or 53 or 54 or whatever down here.
Hmm.
But upstairs it's pretty warm.
Are we seriously trying to figure this out here right now?
I don't know. I'm just getting annoyed because I'm look at me. I'm inside my own house and I'm wearing this. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cold. It's cold right now. Yeah.
First world problems.
I saw an argument right the other day on TikTok. It's a small a little discussion about the
Mm.
Philippines. One person saying it's a third world country, the other person is not. Because
Oh,
it's not a third world country. I
okay.
should have saved I didn't I wasn't able to say, or I tried to save and download that video, but I wasn't able to, you know.
Okay, tell me. That's interesting. More interesting than your heater problem. Tell me about it. What was the
Well, I
what
mean,
was the
I think people outside of the Philippines, especially in the US, definitely in the US, they still think that the Philippines is a third world country. You know,
mm,
they're
mm,
thinking,
mm.
besides the fact that the food is not as good or popular and whatnot, they are just completely clueless about the Philippines.
I'll tell you a little bit about my experience about it. And I don't mean this to be anti-LGBT or anything, but I think it's in transition. And I mean that endearingly.
Endearingly.
Yeah. Like, are you a boy or are you a girl? What's
What do
going
you
on?
mean? What do you mean there? I don't understand.
That it's still trying to figure itself out. It's still trying to, well, maybe it knows where it wants to go, but it's still trying to get there. It's still in transition. We're still trying to, like, like baby birth pains out our way, out of a third world country
Right.
mentality. I'm not saying whether it's a third world country or not. What I'm saying is whatever it is, it's like it's not. It's malabo. It's both. It's both.
Right.
It's having an identity crisis.
Is that
It's
what it
like
is? You think it's an
it's
identity
having no, no,
crisis?
no, 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 or it's having a cognitive dissonance. It's like, oh, I wanna have a progressive country, but at the same time, like our officials are corrupt, and or we have a bad justice system, kind of thing. Not saying that it is, just saying that there are just so many different factors. We were talking about Filipino families the other day, toxic Filipino family traits.
Right.
There's still some inconsistencies as far as rule of law and how the society is sort of managing itself. There's just
Right.
inconsistencies that are, I think, part of being colonialized for so many years. And
Well,
oh,
see, you're saying completely two different things there. I think I'm not sure if I'm understanding it right. Because as far as I know, when a country is categorized as being a third world country or not, or in whatever level it is,
yeah,
it's infrastructure, not
right,
exactly,
yeah,
and
no, no, no,
culturally as well, right?
no, 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 I agree with you. If all on numbers on paper, it's probably
Right.
not a third world country. But what I'm getting at is, like, I think attitude and mentality wise,
Ah,
we're totally not like, for example, we're totally not like Singapore. Singapore is like, we're going to move forward.
right.
Here we're like, we'll move forward someday, or maybe
When we
Marcos
get
or the
there,
president will figure it out. Yeah, kind of thing.
so the country
Well,
runs in convenience, basically.
we're not in a hurry. I'm like, yes, we're a first world country. We'll improve. We'll get there, but we're not in a hurry.
Right, right, right.
And in so many ways, and it's also right. I agree. I also agree with you, and I like to bitch about it, but I think in so many ways, we are a first world country. All the resources are there. The will is there. We have the mentality to do it. But
Right.
at the same time, it's like, yeah, but
So
you know what I
what
mean?
category? Why do you? I don't. Why are people still or other countries still looking at the Philippines as a third world country? Infrastructure wise, obviously these people have never been to BGC or to Manila. All
Y-
these tech buildings and whatnot. I wouldn't constitute that as a third world country.
If you put a gun in my head and ask me first world, third world, I wouldn't know what to say.
Right.
I think I like right off the top of my head, maybe first world because of BGC, because of the Skyway and the
Right.
infrastructure. If you just judge by infrastructure, sure, first world. But if you
Mm.
think, in my opinion, if you think in terms of attitude, no.
No.
Actually, come to
I
think
mean,
of it, yeah,
attitude. I don't think there's any shortage of attitude in the
no,
Philippines. We all
no,
know
no,
that.
no.
You know.
No, 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 no. This is I'll say it this way. We're kind of like fresh off the boat. That we just migrated to the US. We're still
Right.
sort of fresh off the boat, still wearing the sando and the chinelas and everything, and
Right.
you can still smell the anghit from getting off the airplane or what. But we are happy and willing to be there because we have arrived.
Because
But
there's no choice. Duh.
no, 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 not because there's no choice, but we just don't know what to do. It's like we're fresh off the boat. Like we're still figuring it
Uh,
out. We're still figuring it out.
I don't know if I can agree with that. Because Filipinos are so adaptive.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we're stubborn too.
Oh, that's true. Oh, that's very true. Yeah,
Like don't throw garbage on the street. Yeah, pero may maglilinis. Pick
yeah,
pick
that's
up your
true.
pick up your trash. Pero meron namang maglilinis.
Uh, uh,
Di ko naman trabaho 'yan or what.
right, right.
That's what one of my fun. That's my most one of my biggest frustrations riding on a motorcycle. I see it also in the car, but when I'm on a motorcycle, so I'm riding right at the side view mirror of the driver, right, just to make sure that he knows that he can see me,
Right.
and either he spits out or throws out like a cigarette butt.
Yeah, I
It's like,
guess.
ew, so third world. You know what I mean?
It's just a shame still, though, how everywhere in so many places in the world, the Philippines is still considered at the bottom pole.
And
It's annoying because, well, you know what? It's how it's marketed as well. The Philippines is not as marketable or marketed as other countries. You know.
no, because here's the thing. It's like, yes, you have the infrastructure. That's just like basic. That's just like wearing a coat and tie. But what have you done? How have you actually taken care of the people? Have you actually like brought in money, or have you like invited
Incomparable
everybody?
incomparable to a lot of other countries, like for example Thailand.
Sure,
How is Thailand in
sure,
a higher level than the Philippines?
sure, sure, sure,
You know what I mean? it,
sure,
it,
sure,
it doesn't make sense. The Philippines has brought in a lot, and I do mean Fortune 500 companies to do
sure,
business with, from Microsoft to Apple and whatnot to
sure,
Google.
sure,
half
sure, sure.
half of the US's, if not close to half of the US's um overseas call
Look,
centers.
look. Here's the thing. You're speaking in terms of an accountant. You're looking at the profit and loss. You're looking at the piece of paper. I'm talking about my experience on the streets, bitch.
I forgot you're straight from Tondo, yo, Tondo.
Not exactly, but from the
Oh,
streets.
right, right, right.
So, I, yes, there is hope. Yes, the government is trying, and much love. But at the
Right.
same time, there's no I don't know what you call it, but the people are like, let's blame the president, or it's like, there's no, there's no fire up on, like, how, I don't know how they did it in Hong Kong and Singapore and all these other. I'm talking about the other Asian countries, maybe even China, where they're like, yeah, let's do it all together, let's do it as
Right.
one country, like,
Right.
"Mwah." But here it's like, si ano inano ko
So it's a point finger type of thing. It's a finger pointing type of thing.
yeah, finger
How what it's
pointing
boiled down to, really?
finger pointing and like waiting and
The Philippines is a young country. It's
very
literally
young.
only had its independence since what, 1942?
That's what I was trying to say.
Is
So
that right?
we can't even compare it to, well, maybe Singapore is probably one of the youngest countries, right?
Probably.
That's what I
That's what
mean.
I'm saying. But still,
When
for the Philippine island itself, since only 19, is it? I think it's 1942.
bro, that's the problem between Singapore and us. Singapore has no beaches. We got too many darn beaches in this country. We're just too relaxed.
Yeah, the
We gotta
country is
take out
very
our
relaxed.
we gotta take out all our beaches, take out all our natural resources, put it down to zero, and then we'll start working hard. That's what happened to Singapore. They're like, we got nothing going on here, guys. We gotta we gotta figure it out.
How is taking the beach gonna take it make it any better? The beaches is one of the selling factors of the Philippines.
Nah, that's what I mean, because we
It's a
got too
world
many things
tool.
going on. It's kind of like having daddy, knowing that daddy has a big business, and then when he passes, it's just going to come to us. So we're not going to be working hard.
I
Don't
don't
worry.
understand that
No,
analogy.
no, tamad. In a way, tamad. Let's put it simply, without like skirting around the bush. Medyo tamad. Not in a bad way, but because it's like, it's all right.
There's no
We'll be
good tamad. There's no
no, no,
good
no.
laziness.
No. Let me try to explain. It's like, we'll be all right. We got the government to take care of us. We got beaches. If anything happens to the economy, it's okay. We can go to the beaches, cook a little barbecue, sing
Right.
a couple of songs in the karaoke. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
I
Because there's no real like wow. Hello. You know what I mean? There's no real
There's no oomph. There's
yeah,
no
like
urgency, is what you're saying.
as a country, huh? As a country, but individually, as a family man, as a, let's say, a delivery rider, yes, they have for
Right.
themselves, but as a country as a whole, like to think like group, this whole group think na parang, okay guys, let's go, let's rally around, tara tara tara, ano
Mm,
tayo,
mm,
makibaka, hand over shoulder kind of thing. Nah, it's
right.
like I got to take care of my family first, which we also can't blame. I'm just saying that that's the attitude. That's the general attitude that I'm getting. If
From
not for other people, at least maybe for myself. Maybe
so
if I
it's an
can't speak for,
individual type of thing.
we're still very sort of individualistic. We're taking that individualistic society to another level, and at the
Right.
same time, I think more is like really, we'll be all right. Okay lang, like let's say the government is corrupting our taxes. Well, let's just go to the beach, mag karaoke, you know, because we know how to just like not make a big deal out of it. We'll just
Right.
ganun eh, wala tayong magagawa.
Well,
Not fatalistic or not negative thinking, but it's what makes us Pinoy in a sense that we're not the good thing about us being able to be a happy society is also what sort of draws us back, I think.
do you think having too many OFW deteriorates the Philippines as a community? Meaning all too many overseas Filipinos working overseas, it kind of devalues the workforce in the Philippines. Do you think that could be a case?
I think that's apples and oranges. I don't know how to comment on that really.
Because there's so many good a lot, like I think there was a discussion that we talked about before, how the government is like, or somebody was like approaching the government, why can't we pay our workers more so that
Right,
they
right,
can stay here and do use their knowledge here and hopefully build the
right.
the economy and the infrastructure and whatnot 10 times better. which
It's got
would
to be. It sounds like there's got to be like a chicken and the egg problem there somewhere. I mean, I'm not into. I don't know. I don't know enough about business to comment on that. I'm
right.
just a regular citizen, and that's
Mhm.
just the experience. That's a good question, but I don't know how to answer.
Yeah, it's a
My
shame. It's definitely a shame. I
my
would hope
instinct.
that. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, 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 not my instinct is one of the comments that I got from an NGO person that I was talking about. Like, the government should be taking care of this, like this
Right.
NGO thing, that whatever it is that they're doing, let's say taking care of kids or whatever. But the NGO actually exists because it's sort of like a loophole, or it's something that
Yeah.
the government couldn't take care of. So the
Right.
whole goal of this NGO is for the country or the government to actually pick it up so that the NGO doesn't actually have to exist. So
Right.
so to answer your question about OFWs, I think that's my answer. It's like an NGO na, in a sense na we wouldn't be OFWs if we didn't have to be OFWs. A lot of the OFW idea started because we didn't have a choice. Let's do this OFW thing. Sugal na isugal natin yung kinabukasan natin.
Right. Right.
And
Finding its own opportunity, so to speak.
maybe like a game of blackjack or poker on the gambling table, people kept winning, so people kept doing it. So it became part of the whole Filipino thing. So I don't think it's a negative thing to be OFW or it's destroying the society or what. I think it's a good thing. It's Filipinos are surviving.
Right. Right. Well, it's definitely. I think it's definitely a
But
good thing, but at the same time, it'd be nice if it's taken care of back home
yeah,
more. So that
yeah,
somebody needs to do something in the maybe in the Department of Tourism in the Philippines needs to be able to sell and market the Philippines better.
that's the thing. I'm not a congressman. I'm
Yeah.
not a senator. So my only option is to be an OFW, for example. Then do it. I gotta do it because I gotta survive. That's the survival spirit of the Filipino.
Right.
If you push us in a corner, we're gonna not fight back, but we're going to try to survive. You can't blame us for being OFW. That's the opportunity that we got, so we're gonna go for that.
It'd be nice though, where eventually people would when you talk about tourism here in the States, for example, Philippines is just not even part of the conversation. And that's the frustrating thing.
Mm,
I'm even hearing some Filipinos saying that Hawaii is much better.
mm.
What? What?
I'll tell
Blasphemy.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Yes, the beaches here are much better. Yes, everything is cheaper and better to experience here in the Philippines. Sure.
Why?
But if something happens, is the police or are authorities actually going to be able to do something about it?
I see what you're saying because here, yeah, definitely. I mean, you got better odds of getting shit or
No,
something done.
not to razz on local fishermen, but for example, I want to go scuba diving. Diving here in the Philippines, scuba diving here in the Philippines is 100 times better, let's say, than Hawaii, which I think
Right.
is true. There are not enough reefs in Hawaii. There's a lot of like the visibility is clear,
Right.
10 times better maybe here in the Philippines, but the marine life here in the Philippines is 100 times better, right? Center of marine biodiversity in the world. But
But
you get on the bangka, you put air on your scuba tank. You get on the bangka. What kind of bangka are you going to be riding? It might have a hole and a tabo on the side that you're gonna have to be like taking water out. So the infrastructure, the facilities, yes, it might be better. The diving might be better here in the Philippines, but the boats and the speed boats and the facilities and the cocktail and the Long Island iced tea that you might have on the boat is way better in Hawaii.
right. Right. Right.
You understand what I mean?
I think so. I think I understand what you're saying. Yeah. But like in comparison wise, if people only knew, like for example, where my wife is from, Surigao or Siargao? Surigao. I think it's Surigao, right? Hey,
Mm,
is it Surigao? Where you're from?
bro,
Okay, Surigao. You know
let
what
me
I
just
mean?
put a let me just put a cherry on top of what I was saying.
Yeah,
Most, let's say most divers, and I'll just generalize, the serious, let's say biologically interested diver, scientist, serious diver that doesn't care what kind of boat or cocktail he's drinking after the dive,
I don't even think it matters to begin with.
comes here. Like marine biologists, they come here to the Philippines. There's a college, Suliman University or something like that in Davao that has like a marine biodiversity thing going on, right?
Yeah,
The ones that go scuba diving in Hawaii are your regular tourists that don't really, like, yes, they appreciate fish and marine biodiversity, but they couldn't care less as long as they got a nice little room, a nice little
I
yacht
don't.
or boat to
I don't
rest
even
on.
think that scuba diving is that big in Hawaii.
I'm
It.
just using it as an
Yeah, I know.
example.
I know. I know.
But yeah, that's another point. Yeah, scuba diving is not that big probably in Hawaii as
Yeah,
much as it
surfing.
is here
Right.
because the reefs aren't that great. It's about surfing and other water sports.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's definitely part of that. It's why it should be more um, prominent in the tourist conversation. You know, like here, when people talk about going on a tourist or tour or anything, yeah, I'm thinking about, oh yeah, Thailand is beautiful. Go to
Mm.
Japan. You know, you can go to Hawaii or Jamaica or Atlantis or whatever. But it's not as Philippines is rarely included in the conversation. But if people only knew, like I said, like my wife's hometown, Surigao, it's a
Mm.
beautiful, beautiful place. Literally, surfing capital of the world. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but that's what I was trying to say. The beauty is not enough. It's got to be like the infrastructure slash how is the economy running? How do people,
Right.
and maybe there's a point of safety also that they figure out in part of their algorithm or their economics to try to figure out if they're going to invite people to come to the country.
Yeah. Well, do you think that the obviously the places in the Philippines is not ready yet? Do you think they're ever going to be able to set something up in our lifetime?
The nice thing about the Philippine airports here, though, are they're international airports. Like there's some airports, I don't know for sure, but it feels like, Manila International Airport is not the only international airport in the Philippines. There's like one in Cebu, and I think Davao also is international, if I'm not mistaken. It's like you
Hold
don't
on.
actually,
Cebu is international now?
yeah,
Dude, I didn't
yeah,
know that.
yeah, yeah.
It's
That's what I
awesome.
mean. You can fly straight to Hong Kong or any other country from Cebu. You don't actually have to pass through Manila, which is what makes the entire Philippines welcoming to tourists. There's like
So
no,
it's easier now. It's easier now.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. That's awesome,
much
dude. That's so awesome.
easier. So the
Yeah.
government is trying. The government is trying, but to go back to why it's not part of the list most of the time, I have a feeling
Somebody
it's
so
and
let me
maybe
let me let me
and
go
maybe
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
internet access, as simple as internet access. Sometimes it's not really that fast,
So it's not as reliable. Yeah. Okay.
not as
Oh, well, I mean
reliable,
that's in
kind of
the
thing.
outskirts. But
Electric
if you're in the city, it's fine.
electricity, no, it's not that fast. It's only now picking up. Matter of fact, we just changed our internet plan.
Okay.
It like we had like 100 Mbps before, or 120. Now there's like 200 Mbps available for a lower price. We used to pay, let's say, 2,000 pesos. Now it's like 1,500
Oh wow. Did you upgrade?
for an upgrade.
Oh, that's good.
Just to give you an idea on like those
Right.
plans becoming more affordable. Before it was like, whoa, no, we're not going to reach 100 Mbps
Right.
with
Right.
you used to pay like so much money for it. But
Right.
that's also the mentality that the businesses have here, I think. And this is, I'm only speaking from a consumer point of view, that they'll sell us the sachet as much as they can sell the sachet versus sell us the whole gallon of shampoo. You understand what I mean?
Right, right. No, I understand.
Like like Costco sells like that, right? Like they sell in buckets and barrels
Yeah,
versus little tiny sachets.
right.
We don't have a Costco here, that's why I have to ask you. So that's what I mean. The word is kalakaran, like the way they do business around here
Mm, mm.
is in that sachet, that little tiny pancit canton mentality versus build your own noodle factory. It's
Right.
not that it's not encouraged, but for example, when the
It's
Costco
limited.
version when the Costco version opened up here in the Philippines, like people didn't jump on it. You know who jumped on it and are
Sure.
still jumping on it now? Like big businesses and big families. But like the little
Which
tiny
makes sense. Yeah.
businessman,
Yeah.
they don't think about going to like the Costco version because they think it's too expensive. They're thinking short term, like what can I afford now
Right. Right. That
versus
could be. That definitely is too. You know
this is going to be cheaper in the future. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
how they're marketing and whatnot. Okay. Well,
Whew,
let me turn it around on you a little bit more. Okay.
pinagpawisan yung kilikili ko dun, ah.
Being somebody that actually lives in the Philippines. Okay. Is it really safe to
Sorry.
travel in the Philippines? Your honest opinion.
Yeah, generally,
Like
generally.
like where
It'd
exactly?
be a funny question to ask me. Is it safe to go to school in the Philippines? Like compared to like the school shootings that you guys have there?
Yeah.
No, you know what I mean? Like generally, I think it's nothing to complain about. But you guys have like school shootings there. Like, okay, I'm out. It's like,
Yeah. It's well, that boils down to individualism here, Dale. You know, everybody has is it's different. Everybody's psyche is different.
mm,
Um,
but but so we're ranting up. Like, we'll rant about we can rant a whole thing about school shootings. But here, road rage is on another level.
why? I mean, that is ridiculous. Still, I mean, I just literally saw another one on TikTok or on the
Mm.
news. It was on literally TV Patrol where this guy was like on the car's face. You know what I mean? Like, give me your driver's license.
Oh
Give me
yeah,
your
yeah, I
driver's
saw that.
license. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, and it was like complete with like eyes out bulging like that. Ako na
right?
lisensya mo.
And
Lisensya
there's
mo.
no
Bigyan mo na
fear.
sa akin ngayon. Huh?
There was another guy literally arguing with two traffic officers who he even smacks him in the head, you know,
Oh wow.
and the traffic officer could not even do anything. Or they chose not to do something. They instead called the cops. Eventually the guy got arrested, you know.
Hmm.
But still, the road rage there is whew,
Yeah,
well,
it's on
that's a
another
story on
level.
its own because
We,
driving in the Philippines alone is like a heck of a
you know,
task as it
we
is.
won't admit it, but there are levels of driving here in the Philippines in terms of like what kind of car you have. Are you driving a car or a truck? Also, I mean, if you're fighting up against another person, are you driving a truck or a motorcycle? It's not about the rules of the road. It's about like who has a nicer car, therefore has is more. You know what I mean? They have like different characters
So,
on the road versus
so if
like just
yeah,
following the rules.
like for example, like you showed the other day, right? Not the other day. You showed. I think we talked about it some time ago. You were literally parked right by the market, and there's two kinds of vehicles that was in the middle of the street trying to see who's gonna go first. This is the
Yeah.
picture that you showed me: the Jeep Gladiator and the truck.
Right.
And
Right.
nobody. So that's what you meant, basically. Rule of the road, basically. Who's I am king type of thing is based
Yeah.
on what kind of car or how expensive your car is.
Kind of. I mean, we won't admit that. No, "Eh, hindi naman eh, kasi ako yung nasa tama eh, because I'm
Right.
on the right." Why are
Right.
you correct? Because you have a nicer car?
And then what? Most of the time, they act like they have a better chance of getting things done for them
Entitled. And
and
not
being
just the guy
entitled.
with the nice car, huh? Even the guy in the delivery van will also feel entitled because I'm feeding my family. I'm working. You're just driving with your nice car. Yung parang ganun, may kanya-kanya kaming ego trip. Like
Yeah,
we all have our reasons why we're right. It doesn't matter what the rule of the road is. What matters is my personal opinion about what's happening in this intersection. And I'm delivering for a family. I'm getting paid for my whatever it is that I'm earning. So
So
I have the right to be here.
there's two kinds of road rage people. There's the person that's mad and the person that's trying to be calm, right? So
Yeah.
more time than not, the person that's mad is always, at least for the most part, ends up being correct for some reason, even though if they're wrong or not. Do you think that that's a fair statement to say?
Sorry, that flew over me. Can you say that again? Most of the
Okay.
time,
So obviously on a road rage, if there's any kind of situation on the road, there's in the Philippines, there's two types of people. There's either the really, really angry one or the calm one.
yeah, yeah.
And better times than not, the angrier person is the one that always, for some reason, gets away with shit. Either they're correct or right or not.
Mm, 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 mm.
Is that correct?
Yeah,
Is that a fair statement?
yeah. The scarier one wins.
Right, right. The scarier one wins.
I've had my dumb moments of road. It wasn't road rage. It was just like yabang, like who's going to like get in front of who.
And again, you're doing this while you're on your motorcycle, on your
No, 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 no,
scooter.
no, no, no. Back when I was riding a car, driving a car.
Ah, okay.
But in
Okay.
fairness to my experience, and I've had my close calls. In fairness to my experience, I've had a guy sort of roll down his window and then try to like get in front of me with nagigit-gitan sa traffic.
Yeah.
In fairness to my experience, and I realized that it was a dumb move. Like when one person sort of wins or loses, parang
Right.
okay, we're out. That was stupid. What I'm afraid of now are the guys that will not just roll down their window, but will actually block
Point the
your
gun at
car,
you.
get out of the car, and point their gun. For me, it was just like a stupid game of getting in front of each other,
Right.
which was dumb. But I realized, I was just lucky that the guy that I was competing with, pataasan ng ihi. So have you heard of that term before?
No.
You're
But I
just
mean, I can imagine it. I can imagine the analogy for that one. Yes.
so nagpapataasan lang kami ng ihi for whatever reason or another, and that was it. I was just
Right.
lucky that he was not a war freak with a gun that's willing to get down of his car or bump
Right.
my car to prove his point. Because I remember the guy that I was like competing with was, one of those guys that had like a pampered, um, pimped up
Upbringing.
car kind of thing.
Hmm.
And, I'm sure he didn't want to ruin his car and he didn't want to, you know what I mean? He
Right.
probably
Right.
didn't
Right.
have
Right.
money to buy a gun. He just wanted to buy a nice muffler, kind of, you
Jesus
know.
Christ.
And then if
You
if
gotta
I
look at
go
my tailpipe. It looks good.
if I go up against, let's say, a Ford Everest, which is a really nice car here, like a Rolls Royce version
Never
of the
heard it.
Philippines, Ford Everest,
No, never heard.
really, let's just say it's a really nice family car.
Okay.
If I try to go up against like that, chances are the person that I'm competing against with, whether it's motorcycle or a car, is the driver. So he's not going to come down and like try to compete with me. It's
Mm.
the it's the it's the it's the vehicle
Oh,
owners.
it's the
It's the
Explorer.
it's the vehicle owners that are scarier
Right.
because they're like, this is my car, you're ruining my ego, and I'm not working for anybody else. I got to protect my those are the ones that I got to be careful of.
Right. Right.
So but as a general rule, okay, no more road rage for me.
So, with the exception of the whole road rage thing, which pretty much mainly happens in Manila or in the big city, right?
Hmm.
Um, as a general consensus, traveling as a tourist to the Philippines, would you say it's pretty safe?
Yeah, generally.
Yeah, I mean it's just like, I mean, foreigners are accepted and embraced in the Philippines.
Like two things are selling point. Our beaches and the fact that we can speak English.
I
Everything
don't
else
know.
is
I mean, it can't be just that. I mean,
no, no, no. What I'm trying to get at is everything else, like rule of law, who's going to side with you or what, that's
Hmm.
kind of in a gray area.
Depends on how much cha-ching you have.
Maybe,
Right, right. Well, I mean, one of the biggest factors that I believe, I know we've argued about this before as well, but I think it's a good time to bring it up again. Hospitality. I've preached about it so much and how hospitable the Filipinos are. Now, you've actually argued that it depends, really. You've actually said that. Now, from my perspective, is it because is it only to foreign people or people who are not known in their area, or do they do that specifically with everybody else?
I want to answer your question, but I want to side skirt again.
All right.
Diving again. There was a diving incident where somebody got lost during the dive,
Hmm.
and it happened to be a prominent person, like the son of a prominent person or whatever. Philippine Navy, Coast Guard, everything else, like all the assets that the Philippines has, went down to look for this one person in this like really wide uh, reef here in the Philippines.
Hmm.
If that was a bankero or the anak ng bankero, well, accidents happen. Pagdasal na lang natin.
Right. Right. It's not even going to be a discussion because they're not going to send all of that resources out there to look for a banquero
Yeah.
or whatever you call it.
So that's the. So yes, it's safe here in the Philippines if you're the son of Bill Gates, for example, or Steve Jobs. But it's a crapshoot. If you are, you know,
I think being a U.S. citizen though and reporting to the U.S. embassy might be a big factor as well. It could be a good thing as well, you know.
yeah, that's
Because
why a lot of Filipinos want to be U.S. citizens because there are a lot of pluses for being American here in the Philippines. I think. I
I
don't know.
mean, the relationship between those two countries has been, um, what do you
No,
call it? Like taken care of for as not long as
yeah,
I know. So
you got extra privileges once you get a blue passport. I think.
I don't know. I don't. I've yet to. I
Listen,
have
listen.
yet to test that theory. Like I said, I recently just obtained my blue passport, and I'm looking forward to test that theory when I go home.
Why
I'm like,
you can wipe your ass with it and see what happens.
I'm very afraid of losing it there, though.
See? Oh,
Yeah,
that speaks for you. That's it. That's your answer. Is it safe to travel in the Philippines?
that's my. Well, I mean, that's my neurotic. I don't know, personality where I'm always like thinking something's gonna.
You just answered your own question, my boy.
I guess so. I
You,
guess.
you just answered your own question. Is it safe to travel in the Philippines? Well, that's the scenario. You
Well,
lose
that
your
has nothing to do with the actual traveling. I'm talking about for my own, like that's my paranoia, though. That's my own personal paranoia.
I'm just being an ass. Of course, it's safe to travel in the Philippines. Like accidents are so low here compared to. Well, I don't know, but yeah, of course, I'm not going to discourage anyone from coming here.
Yeah,
Jeez,
sure. There's so many. You know what? I'm gonna say it right now. People here in the U.S. need, and I do listen to me and listen to me good. Google the Philippines and how it is over there, but don't all go at once because we don't want it getting destroyed or get ruined. You know what I mean? Whoa!
hold on. I think my camera just died.
It's
I don't
not
know how to
charged.
switch. Battery probably died. I don't know how to switch it to the other camera.
You got to go to your settings again to the three button, and then uh, well, there's a way to change it. Anyway, while Noel tries to figure out his device, he actually stepped out right now. His battery actually died down. So I think here's my 2 cents on this in regards to travel and safety in the Philippines. I did grow up in the Philippines. It's a safe place. But I haven't been living there for majority of my life. Now that I'm an adult, Am I looking forward to go there? Yes, I have some concerns. Am I afraid that I'm gonna lose my stuff? I think it's more like my own paranoia. Like I said earlier, when I lose my passport, if I go there, if I lose my passport, what do I do? What do I need to do to take care of it? It's that kind of stuff. But generally, Philippines is probably safer than a lot of the Asian countries that's out there as well. Like I don't know the other countries out there, but I mean I do, but Philippines is generally a safe country to visit. There are actually a lot of expats that have moved there permanently. Besides the fact that the way of living is much cheaper, your own personal life is just going to be not stress free completely, but 100 times better. You know, you would. Are you there?
I'm
You
hearing
there?
you. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm trying to change the battery of the camera. Keep
Wow.
talking. Go ahead. That's the only way to shut me up. Turn off the camera.
You would have to give up a lot of your personal or frivolous things to be able to enjoy the Philippines properly. They have those frivolous things and whatnot over there as well, but
Yeah.
really, it's not really needed as much, you know?
Yeah, the tourists that enjoy themselves here, the
Yeah.
tourists that enjoy themselves here are the ones that sort of have a little bit of Filipino in them in a sense na they can actually count their blessings and make the most of what they have and not be looking for like, oh, but I have my like nice little pillow in Hawaii, or but if I was at the Sheraton I would have my little special toothpick in the toilet. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like
Right, right, right.
it like there's so many imperfections here in the Philippines, but if you can like ride the wave and then just have fun with it, that actually makes you Filipino, if I dare say. Parang it's like stop complaining, be happy. You're the fact that you're
I just wish that it's more recognized, I'm hoping it gets there. I'd like to be able to see it happen in my lifetime.
I don't think it's recognized because we ourselves Filipinos don't recognize it. That's why the marketing is so
Ah,
poor about it because we don't know that that's what we have.
because we're so
And
used to it
yeah. And then no, not just used to it. There's also this colonial mentality where like it's always greener on the other side.
outside of the Philippines, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like, oh, maybe their culture is much better. That's my opinion, and I'm not saying that for everyone, but
Yeah.
the way I
Uh,
see it,
I understand.
the
I
way
understand.
the way I see other Filipinos, if when we here's the thing, pag tumungtong tayo sa ibang bansa, when we step onto another country, we know how to respect that country in a sense that let's adapt to their culture.
Exactly.
Do us
Filipinos
do us
are
the Romans
labeled
too.
as chameleons. You know what I mean?
But but here in the Philippines, we're like so let's say the foreigner asks like, so what should we do? Should we buy you beer, or what's the custom here? Should we buy you beer, or are you, or should we buy, you know what I mean? Should we get pulutan, or should we buy you beer? What's the custom? We're like, kayo bahala, sir. That's always the answer. It's like kayo po bahala. It's like up to you. It's like
Is
what?
that have something to do with how Filipino mentality is, or like I said, like it boils down to the hospitality, really? You know,
Yeah. Yeah, let's say every day we take off our shoes at home. For example, we don't. But for example, like the Japanese, it's our custom to take off our shoes at home. Okay?
right?
And then let's say a foreigner walks in the house and then they're like, "Oh, should I take off my shoes?" And then you're like, "No, no, no, it's up to you, sir. It's up to you, sir. No need to take off your shoes, sir." It's like we're
Now,
not so like, "Hey, take off your shoes. This is my house."
does Filipino hospitality stay afloat and the same once they've ventured off outside of the Philippines? Because they adapted so much to wherever it is that they're venturing to. Is
Yeah.
the Filipino hospitality mentality
Yeah.
lingering off?
Yeah. I think no, no, no. I think we bring our Filipino ness in other countries in a humble way. We don't impose. But what I was so passionate about,
Not
like
everybody, obviously.
namamawis ang kilikili kind of attitude that I was saying a while ago, was that we don't impose or we don't command that Filipino culture when someone walks into our country or into our house. and
Mhm.
says, "Take off your goddamn shoes. This is my house." We're not like that's the Filipino pride that I think we're missing, in my opinion.
So it's not stapled.
Nah, it's like for suggestion only. Kayo, sir. Up to you, sir. If you want
Like
to
if
take
you
off your
want,
shoes, sir. If you want to, sir. Yes.
yeah, but that's the accommodating attitude though that Filipinos have. But is that
That.
something that you think that should be taken out or
So they
no?
take off their shoes and then they're like, "Oh, I want to piss on your walls." Oh, up to you, sir. Up to you, sir.
Well,
We will
that's
just clean.
no, no, no.
We
You
will.
can't even use that in that same context, but it's completely different.
I'm not even kidding. Like they will. That's our hospitality. Go ahead, piss on the walls. It's okay. You're going to be gone tomorrow, sir. Seriously.
Oh, you need to use the bathroom? Turn around. Right there.
Yeah. No problem, sir. Like you turn around and piss like in the street, right? That's
No, no, no,
technically.
no. I didn't do that. Somebody, the guy in front of me did. The Filipino in front of me did.
Let's say you did it, it's technically illegal. But we're not going to like, oh, it's his ano, bisita yan dito, bisita. Bisita gets to have gets to do whatever he wants to do.
There's a free pass.
Gets a free pass because we're hospitable. We don't want to ayaw nating pag, we want to be welcoming. So go ahead, piss on my house. I'll clean it tomorrow, no problem. Because you're gonna be gone. But once you but once you, the foreigner, ask me like, hey, I want to live here, what are the rules? Oh, I'll tell you what the rules are.
Ah, okay, okay.
You get it?
So while you're here temporarily visiting, hey, do what you want. Piss in the
Mm,
house. Take a shit right there if you want.
right,
You
right.
know, I'll
But if
clean
you
it
ask
tomorrow.
me for a room for rent or bed spacer, oh
Yeah,
sir, hindi lang ano, it's not just I'm going to tell you what the rules are. I'm going to make the price twice or three times more expensive because you're a foreigner. Mm, in your
oh,
face.
see, that's kind of crappy.
Exactly. That's why this hospitality thing, sure, it's great, but there's also like some twisted manipulation
So it's
thing
good for the meantime, basically, the hospitality thing.
for 2 days. And then after that, it's like, get out, pay rent.
That's that's a good point. Okay, okay, that's a good point.
Not even kidding. This is all like all this brewing in the back of my mind since I was like
Can
16
you
when I moved back here. It's
can you
like,
say that you've actually layered that kind of attitude towards your foreign friends while they
no,
were
I
here?
speak from experience because a lot of them think that I'm foreigner.
Well, because you're white.
No, Korean.
Oh, that's true.
They think I'm Korean or they think I'm like
Well, because
Chinese
you're
or.
so when I say white, you're so light skinned. That's why.
And I'm not the type of person. Well, before now I'm like really, oh ate ganyan ganyan. I'm like, I show and let them at ease by letting them know that I speak Tagalog or what, even when I was in Visayas, feeling Bisaya.
Right.
But before I used to take advantage of the fact that I speak English and then I won't speak right away. Parang I like sort of observe people first,
Right.
and that made me look like ang sungit naman ito or such a snob.
I mean, it made you look like a complete
It
jerk. So.
it made people uncomfortable that I wouldn't open my mouth right away. I looked
Right.
unfriendly, so they thought that I was a foreigner that didn't know how to speak Tagalog.
Well,
So a lot
that's
of times I would experience that foreigner feel.
yeah. That's the exact thing as I did to my wife, where I didn't speak Tagalog. You know what I mean?
But eventually I realized it makes people uncomfortable, so I gotta show them
Yeah.
that I speak Tagalog and like minsan pa nga nagbabakla-bakla, oh sis, kamusta na po kayo? Parang just to make them feel at ease. But it's just mental chess.
Right. Right.
There's a
It's
lot of posturing and pretending and figuring things out along the way.
the thing that the scary
But
part about Filipino hospitality, like you said, though, it sometimes it boils down to they take advantage of the situation as well. Like you said.
yeah,
I mean,
we mean well. A lot of times we just don't know what the right thing to do is. We're just
right.
taking it as it comes,
As
and
base cover. Yeah.
it may be good for us, it may be bad for us, what
Right.
else. I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying it's my experience, and I stand by that whole idea of like we don't have like a clear sort of direction. We're like a bunch of actors running around on stage. There's no director telling us like the proper blocking.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true. I see what your point is.
The director, according to like theater history. Is one of the last jobs that they put on.
Why?
Like first, they got writers and actors like Shakespearean days,
Mm.
and then the actors would just decide where to go and stand up until they egos would start flying around, and it's like, okay, 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 let's
That's where the
let's
director comes in to keep everything at bay.
yeah, yeah, because the
Yeah.
actors, like, a lot of like Shakespearean lines are like me in the middle of the stage telling my lines.
Right,
Yes,
right.
but I also have a line to say. Yes, but me too. you know Away be gone, stay not amazed. And then so they'd be like trying to counter block each other, and they're like, hey, let's get a director to decide, like a referee to
Let's
decide
get
on.
this. Let's get somebody to mediate for us.
Yeah, yeah. So here right now, rule of law, or no, no, traffic, even traffic on EDSA, we're still trying to figure it out.
Well, EDSA's always been a disaster, even
We're
when
still,
I was living there, and it's been over 30 years.
in fairness to the authorities, they're trying their darnest, but like every other month, there's like some other scheme going on, and
It's
a lot of the excuse of the motorists are like, oh, I didn't know, like.
it's because people just don't want to abide by the law. That's it. In regards to the little stuff, that is like traffic. Traffic is not really considered a big law in the Philippines. Now,
And
when
then
people start abiding by it and following the rules, I think there's gonna be some organization.
we're still at a point where for them there's always a reason. The number one reason is, dyan lang naman po ako, sir, malapit lang, dyan lang,
Oh God,
dyan lang,
whatever.
dyan lang. you know Two rules that a lot of motorists get caught, motorcyclists. Chinelas not allowed, and then helmet, dyan lang, dyan lang,
What do you
dyan
mean
lang
it's
ako.
not allowed?
Like, you gotta, every time you get on a motorcycle, you gotta wear a helmet and not wear slippers.
Mm, mm.
Dyan lang, bibili lang ako ng patis, dyan lang,
Oh God, come
lapit
on.
lang, taga dito lang po ako, bibili lang ako ng ano, dyan lang.
Mm, mm.
And it's hot. Tsaka nakakatamad to wear shoes and a helmet. Dyan lang.
Diyan, malapit lang naman eh. Dun lang o dun.
Hmm. And then they put a Puss in Boots face. Dyan lang po ako, dyan lang.
Well, I think we are good for the day. What do you think?
Armpits are sweating. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. You need to probably put some deodorant on that. Some. What do you call that?
Tawas.
Tawas. Listen, hey, I actually enjoyed this broadcast as well in the brand new studio that we have. That was very exciting.
It's so liberating to be able to
Do all
not
this.
be so concerned about
Well,
all
we'll
the
see.
other technicalities.
We're still learning. We're still learning, and we're gonna get there soon. I apologize to Facebook that we were not able to get in there today for some odd reason.
Eh,
We were on for 6 minutes and we got suspended.
hindi kayo
Apparently,
kasali.
yeah. We'll figure it out. We're gonna get there. But again, this is episode 99, all completed. One more to go, buddy. What are we gonna do?
Woo.
That's this Sunday. What are we gonna
Wow.
do? We're gonna figure something out. We're gonna
We'll figure
enjoy the
something
show,
out.
and we got a special guest, real quick. You want to say hi? Oh, you gotta go to the other side. Other side, right there. Other side. Say hi. Say hi.
Hello. Hey, Jay, I just realized we had like a little technical meeting yesterday, right?
Right.
You notice I'm still wearing the same shirt?
Oh my God, you're right. Well, you know what?
Because your daughter walked in, or I think the episode before, I was asking her if she knows the
No, it was
the wild
yesterday.
thornberries.
It was
Yeah.
yesterday. Yeah.
It's Nickelodeon wild thornberries. And it's like, oh,
He
she
didn't
doesn't know that.
shower. Okay, go to mama. Go to mama. Go on. Come on, I gotta finish up.
Oh man! On the next episode, I forgot to talk to you. You were asking me about Philippines tourism today. I got all riled up. I forgot to tell you about my Karen situation at the park yesterday. I was a
Oh,
Karen, a
you
male
were
Karen.
good.
Yes.
Oh my God. Episode 100. Noel admits he's a Karen. Arya, stop.
I've been having like a lot of stress at home, right? So I took a walk, went to the park,
Yeah.
saw a bunch of kids there. I'll tell you what I told them on the next episode, but I had like a Karen moment.
Really. I wonder what happened on the next episode.
Yeah,
All right,
of the
guys.
flip
Well,
side.
thank you very much for tuning in. Next episode is this Sunday at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 8 p.m. Or is it 6 a.m. actually? 6 a.m.
6 6
6
a.m.
a.m.
for
Eastern Standard
E.
Time,
Yes, 6 a.m. EST, 7 p.m. Philippines.
Philippines. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you visit our webpage on youtube.com at the flip side with Jay&Noel, Facebook at the same thing, TikTok, same thing, really. Episode 99 completed. Thank you very much. Again, this is the flip side with Jay&Noel. My name is Jay,
Hey, my name is Noel.
and we'll catch you guys later.
On the flip side.
Bye bye.
Peace. Bye
That,
bye.
oh, yeah. Bada, 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 boom.